You went and bought me some weed. I'm talking about I walked 5 minutes later, everybody dead in that joint. So imagine, 5 minutes later, I'd be dead with them niggas. So they killed everybody in that joint. So it's just like but things like that kept happening.
What happened?
Like I would be with the homie like Merlin Santana. He was on a TV show called Steve Harvey Show. I'm in the car with my nigga. I hop out the car. 5 minutes later, he gets shot in the head.
Wow.
But that kept happening. You know what I'm saying?
But you kept missing it.
I kept missing it. I brokered a $40 million art deal, but they broke it down to like 12.
You brokered a $40 million art deal.
It was more than that, but they on the news broke it down to 12 because they didn't want to give a black.
I remember when that was all.
They didn't want to give me that much recognition. 6 NCYF paintings from the 1800s mysteriously happened to be in my closet.
Right.
And then I end up taking them to a place to get rid of them.
Got you.
Yeah. How they got there, I have no idea.
Right.
He slit his throat and his wrist.
Slit his throat
in front of my face. He's like, he woke me up in the middle of the night, tapping on my bunk. Brother, I finished. He's like, brother, I finished. He's from Pakistan.
Wow, you serious?
And I was blood everywhere. It was crazy. And I went back a couple more times after that.
You went back some more times.
Yeah.
All right, well, tell me about that. Why'd you end up going back?
I went back one time fucking with you.
Hey, wait a minute, hold on. We're here for the introduction of In and Out. It's a movement to change the world. It represents all things and all of us at all times. It's about freeing ourselves of any prison. Welcome to In and Out Podcast, where I have dope conversations with incredible people who have been released from some form of prison. I am Eric Gerald, and today I'm talking with my guest, Oscar O for Show Roberts, about his incredible journey of beating the longest odds and achieving great success.
Oh, man.
What's happening, my G? O for Show. I want to give you an opportunity to, first I want to thank you, obviously for sitting down with me and you know, getting ready to tell us, you know, take us along your journey, share your stories, so many things that you've accomplished and things that you've been through. But first I want to give you an opportunity to tell us a little about yourself, tell us what you got going on, and, you know, then we can start talking.
Man, what I got going on, that's interesting. Well, my name is Oscar Roberts. They call me O for Show. I'm from Los Angeles, California, by way of Inglewood, but I was born in Virginia. I'm raised in LA though, but I'm a Virginia native. By way of Liberia, Portuguese, and Indian, and all this other blood that flows through my veins. I come from a very strong heritage of people, from the music side and to the religious and political side of things. My great-grandfather was the first president of Liberia.
Wow.
He started the country. He left the country. They left Virginia to start Liberia. He was the first and the 7th president. Yeah.
It's in the bloodline.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh.
And my auntie was a jazz singer, Ella Fitzgerald. So it all goes both ways. But I had a real just different life. And you know, I just played a different set of rules, and they weren't the ones that anyone taught me. I kind of made my own. And I wrote a book too. It's about to come out in a couple months called Plethora. I wrote it when I was in prison in the feds.
Dope.
So yeah, it's just, but my main thing right now is my financial stability and my artists and the company that we run, Ozone World. And my artist's name is Xavi, Aspect Xavi, and he's been with me for about 2 years, and we built a real strong empire. It's worldwide now, so. Taking over. I mean, you're in our studio. This is our facility. So yeah, we're definitely moving. Things are happening now. So
that's dope. That's dope. So listen, y'all already know here on In and Out, everybody's vetted. We only mess with the realists. We bring in nothing but the real, authentic. This brother Oscar, I happen to know him for some time. O for Show is for real. He's one of the realest individuals I've met. Creative genius. He's one of the truest. Man is a businessman. A man is an entrepreneur, producer. He manages artists, owns a studio. He's just an incredible, authentic individual. And I'm happy to be sitting down with him because he's got one of the most fascinating stories that I've ever heard. And he was able to come out, you know, shining on the other end of everything that he's been through. So he got a lot that he could talk about, a lot that we could learn from him. And I just appreciate him being here.
Yeah, man.
I don't know where to start, man. You're doing a lot of things, man.
You know me. So it's
ain't no question.
Hey, you like family all the way, so.
That's right. I'm proud of you. I love you, my brother.
I love you too.
It's a real serious dude. And so this studio that you got right now, I know You got your studio going. You got 3 different locations. You got all type of different artists. Some people could call him the governor of California. He really is the gatekeeper of many situations. He knows everyone from Northern California to Southern California and everything in between. I've seen him in action before. I've seen him basically orchestrating mad moves and putting together mad things. How did the studio come about? Let's start there. That's a good place to start.
Actually, this situation happened because of my artist, actually. Because my artist introduced me to a brother named Times, and you might have interviewed him earlier.
Okay.
That's one of my partners
Times
at the
is
studio.
dope.
So me and my artist Xavier went through some times where we was down bad, and we was like struggling together, and him and Times had that same history with each other. So when Xavier connected me with him a few years ago, I had already actually knew Times from just from other stuff. So, but it came full circle, and we had a whole nother studio that we still have. In North Hollywood, close to Burbank. And so we were building, and then like a couple months ago, he was like, man, I'm about to get this building, bro. He's like, I got this whole plan, like, but everybody, but he's like, I just need the right people involved. And then certain people were involved, and I was like, well, if you want me involved, those people can't be involved. Because I come with a whole system. I come with a whole, I'm real organized as much as I can be. On the contrast side of things, like Calais might say, contrast is like the bad side, because my contrast is horrible. When I get upset, when it's bad, it's bad. So I try to keep things as peaceful and light as possible, because I have a really, really big temper, and I'm just not the one to even push that way. So therefore, I like to keep things real cool and calm as much as I can, because there's a lot going on always. So that's why when I came into this facility, we really got into organizing it and having the system run. We have a membership-based situation.
Oh, really?
Where we allow artists to pay a monthly membership fee, and they get 4 hours a day for studio every day. You know what I'm saying? First come, first serve, but they get access to all the facilities depending on who gets it first, which room they get first,
Right.
And yes, and it's a lovely system. A lot of people in the industry don't really agree because we're messing with their money. But not really, because who says it's their money?
Right.
They called it their money, but it's really my money. So
I know you ain't never gonna worry about what other people agree or disagree with.
No, because just like you think it's yours, I know it's mine. So yeah, you think it's yours though, but I know it's mine.
So tell me about Plethora.
It's funny because remember when I was in jail writing it, I was calling you about the book. Because I actually you're in the book. Yes, I talked about you in the book because you guys are really making you guys are keeping me focused, man. You and your partners, man, y'all really made sure I was doing right. But Plethora came because I was in prison at Terminal Island, and I was telling my story to Bernie Madoff, actually.
Get out of here.
I was talking to him about we were talking about my story, and Bernie was like, damn. He's like, your life is almost as interesting as mine.
Yeah, maybe even more so.
But he literally was like, maybe even more so. But it's just so crazy because, in Terminal Island, they had child molesters and everybody at that prison. So my bunkie was Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff was right next to me, like pretty much my bunk mate. And then the bunkie above me was an actual chomo. You feel me? It's RDAP. So it's like, so I'm in there like.
You gotta tell them what chomos is.
Chomo's a child molester. You feel me? That's what they are. But I know people ain't gonna like this, but this is I tell the truth even in my story.
Only if it's real, baby.
I got to know the person, and see that he was in there as a child molester, but he didn't actually commit child molestation. His friend sent him an email with pornography in the email. He clicked the email. You feel me? It goes further than that. Not
the original
saying,
clickbait.
Yeah, that clip. You feel me? I'm not saying that that's wonderful or nothing, but
no.
But it's funny because the man actually told me what he was into. So his thing was bestiality.
Oh God, the gloves is coming off.
Yeah,
California version in and out.
But even with that, but see, my thing is like what Calais told you guys about the mind edit. Shout out to Calais and the mind edit. It's helped me through a lot of things.
No doubt.
But the mind edit like helped me understand even that situation. As I think about it later, because it's like, the man's whole story. When I learned a whole man's story about his, his family and his, the different things that happened to this man, I'm like, I'm surprised he was not wearing a dress. You know what I mean? The things that his mom and his family did to this man. No wonder he's teaching dogs how to have sex with women. That was crazy. But this is like, but like, how do you develop a skill like that if something ain't wrong with you?
Right.
But something really was wrong with this man.
But he suffered from some serious trauma, basically.
Some serious trauma, bro.
And trauma's no joke.
And the trauma's no joke because I went through that, and that's why I wrote my book, because my book was like therapy. My book, Plethora, it's called Plethora, the Never Ending Beginning. It's pretty much about my relationships with women, because I just always had a lot of women that would run through my life because of the way life was set for me at the beginning. Because my son passed away and my girl died in a car accident. I went through a lot of trauma at an early age. And
what type of trauma?
My son died. I was in jail. He died while I was in jail a week before my birthday. And the funeral was on my birthday. Crazy. And then, but right before that, my chick had died in a car accident, right? We're in college together.
Wow.
I lose her, I lose my son, then I lose my best friend, I lose my grandma. Jesus. You gotta understand, just 5 years before that, Pac died. That was my boy. So I lost Pac. Wow. I'm like, I was done. You feel me? And then you gotta understand, people just start dropping. I'm talking about really, because a lot of stuff happened integrated in the system. And if you really know about the industry, people were just dropping. Like, I mean, from my boy Spank in Compton at the car wash. I leave the car wash and I come back later and all my niggas is dead. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, I just left them. You remember the car wash in Compton? Boy, I was at the car wash. You went and bought me some weed. I'm talking about I walked 5 minutes later, everybody dead in that joint. So imagine, 5 minutes later, I'd be dead with them niggas. So they killed everybody in that joint. So it's just like but things like that kept happening.
What happened?
Like I would be with the homie, like Merlin Santana. He was on a TV show called Steve Harvey Show. I'm in the car with my nigga. I hop out the car. 5 minutes later, he gets shot in the head.
Wow.
But that kept happening. You know what I'm saying?
But you kept missing it.
I kept missing it. I'm talking about every time though. Lamont Bentley, that was my Moesha. That was my. I told him I got them text messages to this day. He mispicked me up from the damn studio. This nigga goes on the 118, car flips over, he falls out the car.
You would have been in the car?
I would have been in the passenger seat, bro.
Wow.
And my mama, me and my boy Dirty Rat. Shout out to Dirty Rat, Chris Reese. But yeah, bro. But that kept happening. So to the point where I thought that was like cursed or something. So then I just started living reckless as hell. I'm just doing everything. I'm doing cocaine. I'm doing fucking all the women. I'm just doing, I have 7 kids now. And I would have 10 or 15. You feel me? To be honest, but I got 5 boys, 2 girls right now. I got a whole army.
Wow.
But I don't regret anything. But
life happens.
That life happened so many different ways.
So let me back up and ask you.
I'm from the hood. You feel me? I was born in the projects, Pecan Acres in Virginia. Like, what the hell? Syrup sandwiches and shit. You feel
You're doing better than you should.
Yeah. What the hell?
So
it's different.
When you were in terminal, why were you in prison?
I brokered a $40 million art deal, but they broke it down to like 12.
You brokered a $40 million art deal.
It was more than that, but they on the news broke it down to 12 because they didn't want to give a black man.
I remember when that was all over the news.
They didn't want to give me that much recognition. At first, Good Morning America did the right thing. They talked about it all, gave me my prestige and this, and then they broke it down because they're like, hold up, we're making him look too high power. You feel me? But it was a super huge art deal. It was a heavy situation.
How did that work out like that? Listen, a lot of times, obviously, I've been to prison. A lot of the people that look like us, that I talk to, most of them are in there for drugs.
Yeah, I know.
Or violence.
Yeah, I don't.
How did you end up in prison for an art deal?
I don't have no violence at all in my history. The most violent history I have is recent with my ex, who that domestic violence stuff, and that's the most violence I ever had.
Right.
And that was not violent. She was the one beating on me.
But how do you end up in prison for a $40 million art heist where you brokered the deal? Tell me a little something about that, because it's going over my head. I can't say so much without
saying so much, but I have done interviews since I've been out of prison, so everybody knows that I was dealing with Joe Iskro and his Italians and other brothers, and then he introduced me to his friend Dean, and Dean brought me to this guy and this other guy and this other guy and this other guy, and
You can't tell the whole story, basically. Okay.
Yeah, but
there was some art that was stolen.
6 NCYF paintings from the 1800s mysteriously happened to be in my closet.
Right.
And then I end up taking them to a place to get rid of them.
Got you.
Yeah. How they got there, I have no idea.
Right.
But man,
but I
had friends. I had friends. They introduced me to friends. But they're not really friends because I could care less if they live or die. But yeah, they're not my friends. But yeah, but they, God bless them. But no, they weren't my buddies. I was the fall guy.
Got you.
Because 4 of the paintings got caught up and 2 of them are still missing.
Wow.
You feel me?
No doubt. So you end up in prison.
I ended up in prison. I ended up with a lot of time actually, but I ended up getting a downward departure.
Okay.
At sentencing because I saved my celly's life.
Explain what a downward departure is.
That's when the judge takes off a lot of your time for a super supreme act of service in prison. Whether you save a warden from a riot and the equivalent of that is saving someone that was, on trial from saving their life. And I literally saved this man's life. And the judge gave me a downward departure for that in my military service. So,
how did you save his life?
He slit his throat and his wrist.
Slit his throat?
In front of my face. He's like, he woke me up in the middle of the night, tapping on my bunk. Brother, I finished. He's like, brother, I finished. He's from Pakistan.
Wow, you serious?
And all was blood everywhere. It was crazy. And I literally had to get all my stuff in order and,
Would you tie something around his neck to stop the blood from squirting?
Multiple tourniquets.
Wow.
I pretty much ripped up all the sheets, everything in the cell.
Get out of here.
You gotta stand. When I'm banging on the door for the guards to come get him, they think I done killed the nigga. So they actually are preparing to take me to the hole. So they are going to get everybody to come get my ass. You feel me? Of course they took me out.
Good thing he lived.
Oh, good thing I stopped the bleeding.
Right.
But they dragged me all out the banged me all over the place. I got beat up before I even got to the damn bottom.
Wow.
And then when they realized I didn't kill the nigga, you feel me? And then he wrote the crazy is he wrote a fucking suicide note, and that shit was in the cell too. So nigga wrote a whole suicide note and everything. So I was super good, but
wow.
But I saved that man's life.
How did you know how to tie the tourniquet and everything?
I mean, between the military, between my dad, between the homies getting shot. You feel me? I done seen some crazy shit.
That's a good skill to have.
Yeah, I done had to.
Because if he was my son, he probably would have been dead.
Everybody said that. Everybody said that, but he probably.
I don't know what to do.
Because he was in there for terrorism. He was on a terrorist situation. So everybody was actually mad at me that he lived. But I was like, what am I supposed to do? Let this man die? He was like, yeah. I was like, nigga, I just got to jail. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't barely in jail when this happened. I was in jail maybe a week. You feel me? I just went to the feds. They had just got me.
Right.
And then obviously I went through my case, and then at sentencing, the judge brought up what I did.
Wow.
See, I didn't know I was going to do downward departure. I thought I was going to do 9 or 10
So you got a downward departure the right way.
Yeah, literally.
A lot of other people getting downward departures. It ain't like that.
They just telling.
They killing somebody.
Yeah, they telling. And they killing. Yeah, they killing somebody.
In another way.
Yeah, they just telling. Yeah, I've learned my lesson on multiple levels.
Wow.
But I've never been one of the ones to tell anybody. So this ain't my thing. I've told them myself.
Yeah, well, you got a right to do that. Nobody ain't mad at you for that.
I definitely made that mistake before, but I definitely don't tell them people.
That's what's up. So when you was in prison, what was it like? What was it? What is Terminal Island like?
I wasn't just. I had to get to Terminal Island, bro. It wasn't. That's what I'm saying. That's why I just talk about Terminal Island because I don't. That's just what the most beautifulness of it. That was like heaven.
That was a good one.
No, it started at MDC downtown,
right?
And then I went to Victorville. Okay.
MDC is jail. What's the difference between jail and prison?
But MDC is the federal jail though, and it's fucking horrible. And they keep you there and send you through some bullshit. And then they took me to Victorville, and that was horrible. That was like being in Mexico. So it was just like, what the fuck is going on? All these Mexicans selling fucking candy and fucking doing heroin all day long. That shit was annoying.
Wow.
You feel me? But it was also a lot of madness. You feel me? Victorville was, that shit was hell. But then my points dropped, and they got me about that motherfucker. Shit, because I did every program to get out that bitch. It was like, wait, how can I get to my point? Can my points how my points this high? I got like 3 years, and I got 29 points or 20. I was like, I need all of this gone.
Right.
So I taught ESL. I worked in the church. I worked in the little thing where you made the license plates with the trucks and the cars. And I'm volunteering for every program. I'm writing letters to get all my warrants reduced to all the jails.
That's what's up.
That's why Pennsylvania came and picked me up for my gun case.
Okay.
They actually expedited me from Victorville Federal Prison. That's how my points dropped the most. They expedited me. That's what's so cool about the federal prison. When you know that paperwork, I was pushing my paperwork. Right. I'm in the law library every day, nigga. I'm writing letters, doing everything. I'm hitting everybody with all the codes and guidelines to the point to where Pennsylvania came to pick me up from federal prison, got me released to their custody, and then got my gun case ran concurrent with my federal time, which ate that shit the fuck up.
Did they bring you all the way to Pennsylvania?
They brought me all the way to Pennsylvania, gave me
so you had to go through all that transit.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I was on a commercial. I didn't go through diesel therapy. I was on a commercial joint with the detectives in handcuffs and regular clothes. I'm getting phone numbers.
Okay.
I'm knocking bitches on the plane. What are you talking about? I'm on Instagram on their phone, nigga. They looking at me like I'm a legend. I'm with two detectives they know about my case, nigga. You guys ain't know about my shit. I'm on their phone like this, talking to bitches. Oh, I'm killing them, bro.
Yeah.
I'm in regular clothes with handcuffs.
Right.
And they got my handcuffs wrapped with jackets.
Right.
So everybody else started complaining about shit. Nigga, that would know, because that prison jet is not like...
I already know about it.
There's a whole different jet
It's a completely
system.
different
bro, it's a whole nother
situation.
system, bro. I'm eating burgers.
Totally different experience.
I'm eating burgers and french fries and, nigga, yeah, no, it was up. Yeah, no, beautiful situation.
That's what's up. Yeah, when you know that, when you got that paperwork, when you can put that paperwork on them with the pen, based on your knowledge and what you know, it's a completely different story.
Yeah, I'll never go to jail again. They'll never get me again. And I'll say never. I don't need to knock on wood. I will never go to jail again.
All right, now that's perfect. Perfect segue.
Yeah.
So, you say you'll never go to jail again. So was it you ended up in prison? Like, so did I. It was a mindset I had.
And I went back a couple more times after that.
You went back some more times. Yeah. All right, well, tell me about that. Why'd you end up going back?
I went back one time fucking with you.
Hey, wait a minute, hold on.
We was around each other at that time. You feel me? Yes.
Right. No,
and they see me. I got violated for buying a car without permission. You feel me? And then I got violated again because I got married and I bought my wife a car without permission. You feel me? But it was more things to it because I had so much money coming in.
Yeah. So explain.
I was making a lot of money. Remember, I had so much cash.
You never know what's gonna come out.
Yeah, I had so much cash. I had so much cash going through my accounts. You feel me?
Cow.
Yeah, I was like, where all this money come from? What's all this money? What is he doing? Like, God, get it together.
Oh shit! You remember things you had long forgot.
Yeah.
So,
but I did my time, and I'm off paper.
Right.
I'm a U.S. national now. I'm on the do not detain list. You feel me?
You're a U.S. national.
Yep, I got my whole status changed. Yep.
How does that work?
Yeah, I gave them their citizenship back. I took my nationalism. Yeah, I'm a real American now. I'm not like you other citizens.
Wait a minute, explain that. What is a U.S. national? How did you do it?
I gave them their citizenship back.
The United States?
Yes, and took my pure citizenship through the United States.
Okay.
So now I have a U.S. passport.
So is that something like diplomatic immunity? They got to
almost like it, but it's like I'm like a politician.
Right.
You feel me?
A regular police just can't arrest you for no reason.
I don't carry a driver's license, none of that shit anymore. I carry this. I carry the U.S. passport card.
Man, you teaching me something, brother.
And see, and if you look closely, see, if anybody has a passport card, you can look at your card. Most of y'all cards have 1, maybe 2 stars. If you look at my card, it has 4 stars. You can zoom in, it's 4 stars on that card. I'm actually in the process of getting my 5th star, so I'm gonna be a 5-star Republic U.S. national, which means that I'm pretty much like the president.
Is that something you recommend for people?
I recommend anyone that is an American to become a real American. If you don't understand, read the Constitution. People don't take time to read. And, when you're in prison,
Brother's teaching right now.
In prison, we can
it's
read.
Going over my head.
So in prison, I read.
Right. That's what I was going to ask. So,
yeah. Remember, I was telling y'all about the sovereignty stuff before.
Oh, the sovereignty is UCC stuff.
No, but it's different because every sovereignty is that's the word they get you hung. Yeah,
they was getting them hung in prison. They was sending them jokers back fast. They was putting liens and everything on the judges, the prosecutors, and they were shipping their ass out.
That's exactly what.
Quick.
Exactly, but the liens is real.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
but them getting shipped was real too.
Yeah, exactly. Because not to get to do it incarcerated.
Right, and then dudes was just going too far with it.
Yeah, I've authenticated my birth certificates.
That's very interesting. We gotta talk about that.
Yeah, it's really beautiful situation, and it's something that I'm comfortable talking about because it's legit.
Right.
That's not nothing illegal. It's not a scam. It's no gray area. That's just what it is, and I know it works because I got multiple parking tickets and traffic tickets and speeding tickets, traveling across the country, and them tickets they disappear because of the status. So they'll pull you over. They'll give you a ticket. That ticket will not be in that system 2 or 3 days later because they can't even tie you to nothing. As long as you didn't kill nobody or cause bodily harm to another, they can't charge you with anything because all crimes are commercial. Remember that. Yeah, all crimes actually.
Wow.
They're all commercial.
So that's good stuff. That's interesting because, listen, I'm not. We ain't gonna sit here and say going to prison is ever good. Being taken away from your family, taken out of society, and being locked up, losing your freedom, your liberty, and everything. That's not good. However, would you say, or is it fair to say, you made the best out of a situation, and some good things came out of it for you, such as reading, studying,
Yeah,
mindset
yeah, but
change.
that's why I'm not living here in a regretful mindset where I'm blaming. You notice I didn't sit here say, "Oh my God, the homie snitched on me, or the homie told, or my bitch left me." They all left me. Everybody left me. The homies left me. The girl left me. My mama left me. My family left me. My daughter. Everybody leave you. They don't really stay with you when you locked up.
Right.
You can act like they nobody stays with you when
That's
you
right.
locked up. I don't give a damn who you
That's
are.
right.
Even the girl that was with you, she still broke bad. Somebody was hitting her when you was on the phone with her. That's just what it is, bro. You can don't
Right.
believe it or not. It's just, bro, we all have needs and desires and wants.
We're human beings.
We're superhuman beings. All of this statistical thoughts process of where it's like everybody gotta have a wife and you gotta have one woman and you gotta have all of this. Man, live your life. If you see somebody tomorrow, you want to hit that shit. You feel me? If that's how you feel, if you feel good about it, do it. The fuck?
That's right.
If I want to do it, I'm gonna do it. And I don't care if any woman sees this video and see me say it. You know who I am. Y'all all know me. If I want to do it, I'm going to do it. You're not gonna stop me.
That's right.
What are you doing for me?
That's right.
What are you really doing? You know, women always say, "Well, he ain't paying my bills." He ain't. It's funny. Us guys don't do that. You feel me?
Yeah, I already know.
We just make
There's
it
a whole
happen.
movement going on right now. A lot of
Yeah,
that too. I don't like it, but it is what it is.
But you know, I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be able to be a breath of fresh air, be a beacon of light, and bring some positive energy in the midst of all the negativity. Because I've been through every level, and for me to be able to even sit here and tell you the story or share some knowledge and understanding for people, you know, because I mean, I could be on this for hours and hours. Obviously, I can't tonight because we put a lot of people before, but I think my interview is going to be in segments because I got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, and we could come back. We got part 1, part 2, part 3.
Exactly.
Infinite.
Plus, you know, I'm gonna be a big part of this if you let me because I love what you're doing.
No doubt.
So this whole in and out situation is definitely beautiful. And Lex and GP, you know, your whole movement, Adonis,
The team.
the whole team is on point. You know,
The dream team.
This is definitely a powerful, good movement, man. I appreciate
We appreciate
the
you, brother.
opportunity, man, to even share what's going on. But yeah, man.
That's what's up. So when you was in there, do you remember was any seminal moment, or you know maybe something that you went through where you really started to think, like to have a mindset change to be like, you know, where you started planning for getting out, like, yo, I'm not gonna go through this no more. I gotta change my mentality. I gotta do a mind edit. You know, what were some of the things that helped you? Was it some of those experiences that you went through when you were in there that helped you get to where you at now? Because
Yes.
you're doing major big moves.
Yeah.
You know, I see you traveling the world. You going all over. You in Amsterdam. You got properties here. You messing with multimillionaires, even billionaires.
Yep.
You know how after everything that you went through, which some of it for some people is horrifying, but for you,
really,
came
it
out.
was really just a thought, bro.
Just a thought.
My nigga, everything starts with a thought. Seriously, like, I mean, it's funny because I give her props for that, but it's not even just from her. It was that's why it's so good with certain people I jail with, because I already had to start. I'm a leader. I think way outside the box. But once I understand really what it all was, it made me just really understand who I was. But yeah, because thoughts are things. It all starts with a thought. You say it, it happens. The power of your mouth, the power of your words, is really it's really, really serious, bro. So that's what really happened. I just changed my thoughts. I changed my
thoughts.
and it happens in anything that turns good for you. Because if you feel good about it, you do it. If you don't feel good about it, you don't do it. So it's literally in that moment. If you don't feel good, you stop, chill. If you feel better about it, then do it. If you don't feel better about it, you stop fully. And until you feel better, you just leave it alone. It's that simple. But you know, people don't really look at life like that. I'm living my life like that. So I make every move I want to make when I want to make it, and I feel so much freer. So, and it's not contingent on anybody else's thoughts or feelings or my children or nothing. I love all my kids. I love my entire family. I love my artists. I love my movement. But I love myself first. You would never hear me say anyone's over me. I would never even put God over myself. Like, it doesn't make sense because I'm God. God is inside me. You feel me? Like, I would never say no one's over me first. Everybody always talk about putting somebody else first. That is the mistake of the world. Putting somebody else over yourself. I'm looking you dead in your face. You're the one that comes first. There's no God over you. There's no kids over you. There's no mother over you. There's no father over you. It's you over yourself.
Focus on yourself.
That's it. Nothing else. That's the biggest thing I tell anybody. Focus on yourself. And that's what it is. And follow me on social media at OFOSHO. OFOESHO. And holla at my superstar, Aspect Xavier _. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Ozone World, Timeless Studios. We out here, forever timeless.
I like that. Was that but was you when you was going through whatever you was going through, was you able to make that change on your own? Was there any outside influences, or you just one day you were just tired? How did it happen?
I mean, I guess everything that happened made it like that. So it was outside influences. You know, you was a big positive influence in me getting back to focus, because you was on your business. Get credit. I was getting that from you, like wanting to make sure my credit was good. You know, you and Kaz was like teaching me stuff about real estate and flipping properties, and
That's
you know what I'm
what's
saying,
up.
and pushing my music and just my artists and everything I was doing. So I had those influences around me, and I had to go to the ones that was like the ones that actually mattered. And so I was giving too much energy to stuff that didn't matter. You feel me?
Gotcha.
And so I just changed my circle and changed the energy to things that mattered. And that literally is why everything's still growing. Everything is great. In the midst of everything trying to come to me, I still prioritize what matters, which is why things turn the way they do for me. Because I'm prioritizing what matters even as it goes. Okay, this matters. Okay, let's go. You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's how it's gonna happen, and that's how it's gonna keep happening for me.
That's dope. It seems like you're manifesting that, because I'm noticing everyone around you, your whole team, everybody's talking the same positive vibrations, the same positive energy.
Yep.
Just, speaking nothing but positive things.
Yep.
Did you change the people that you would allow to be around you also?
Yes, I did. I exited people out of my circle. And certain people that I never thought would be back in my circle, they're back around me. Because one thing about vibrations, people can rise and fall. So a person that can be the worst person in the world can still one day be the best. You can't, like, you literally cannot judge a person from what they were yesterday. And, you have to let them rise they're either gonna rise, they're gonna fall away and disappear.
How important is that, being able to exit away from people around you?
It's very important. Priority, rule number one. Definitely.
That's dope.
Yep.
That's dope.
And I'm proud of you, man. I like how you moving with this, bro. Like, this is gonna be a super huge podcast. Well, it already is, but it's gonna be really big. I see you having a whole situation with a network and everything. Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah. Hey, listen, everybody got a story to tell. And, those that have the most extraordinary stories, we want them to be able to tell
Part
it.
of the movement.
Yeah, no doubt. The movement,
Yeah.
I like it, yeah.
Yeah, the movement.
In and Out is a movement, and I know you got a movement going on.
Yeah, I do. They trying to move me out the studio because I guess somebody rented it right now.
Oh,
So they've been in the hallway waiting like a mug.
Okay,
But
so
I ain't
we
tripping.
on a time crunch now,
Yeah.
but what
That's
we
why they
will
blowing
do,
my phone up. They keep
I got
keep
you.
calling.
So what we will do is,
But
this
see,
is
that's
just part
good, though.
one.
It showed you how much we moving, and showed you how much, even though I put myself first, you still prioritize. It's not about putting others before yourself, but sometimes other people's story is just as important as your story as well, if you consider them to be in your frequency. So just like this right now, I let my people all get their stuff out the way. Also because I'm directly connected to the source, so I know
No doubt.
I can. And plus, when you see my crib, you're gonna understand why we should do one over there.
Let's do it. Let's do part 2 over there.
Yeah. Trust me. Chris Kwame wanted to do his at the crib.
That's what's up.
But he was like, "Yo, I want to do mine at the crib."
That's what's up. I already know
'cause
how
it's-
you
'cause
roll.
Yeah, it's
So-
a vibe.
So take just a few more minutes.
Oh yeah, it's all good.
Tell us some of the things that you're working on, when you're gonna release the book.
My book should
tell
be coming
people where
out.
to find you.
Yes.
And some things that they need to hear, like just some word of encouragement when people feel like, yo, it ain't working for me. I can't do it, or this happened or that happened.
The most
Let them know what
cliche
they do.
statement, that people might call cliche, but it's really just truth. Focus on the positive. I have a clothing line with my boy. It's called Positive Wear. I've been pushing it a lot with him, but it's the mantra for the company is called Focus on the Positive. And that's literally like how I'm living my life. In the midst of everything that might happen, I still go focus on the positive. So that's what I can give everybody. As far as my book is coming out in a couple months, I might go for a birthday release of March 13th, but Plethora is definitely coming out. I'm doing my final edits of it right now. The book cover is already done. Everything is like ready. Everything, all my copyrights are done. I have an agent, so that's moving. But my biggest focus right now is my artist Xavier. He's from Southside Chicago. He has like 3 million followers on TikTok, like 1 million on Instagram. But he's been on social media since he was a kid. He was like the first person to ever do hashtag anything. And his music is phenomenal. We have a new album out called No Risk, No Reward. We have a lot of singles that we dropped on our company called Ozone World. And it's just a whole movement. We're about to do Art Basel in Miami. We just did Fashion Week in New York. We just did the United Nations conference, and spoke at the Nigerian consulate because he's Nigerian, and so we just mixing up all our heritages and changing the world, man, taking over. That's what we doing.
That's dope. Tell them where to find you.
You can find me at O for Show, OFOESHO. Again, that's O as in Oscar, F as in Frank, O as in Oscar, E as in everything, S as in Sam, H as in heaven, O as in Oscar, OFOESHO, because I'm not your friend, I'm your foe. That's why. And that's when I was a rapper. That was my name then. And that's everywhere, so you can find me there. And you can find my artist, Aspect Xavi, ASPECTZAVI_. And our company, Ozone World, and my other new company that is about to take over is called Godnetics. Well, I'll get into that deeper later, but it's called Godnetics. This ain't just genetics, it's Godnetics. Holla at your boy.
That's what's up. He's going to tell us about Godnetics next time. He's going to tell us about R&D because we didn't hear nothing about that.
That's my movie. That's my movie. That's the movie about my book. It's called R&D. It's like the script is crazy. It's super crazy. Yeah, it's a lot going on. I got some actors already picked out for the movie. Yes. It's a lot going on, bro. We got a lot going on. We got a movie that's like the new You Got Served that we're doing. I'm not sharing. I can't share the title, but it's lit. It's a movie. I'm getting the Marianne and everybody be in it. It's starring my artists. It's gonna be like a new You Got Served. We start filming this year. That script already done. It's a lot of projects. I'm working on stuff with Ray J with Tronics. I got a whole situation going on.
That's what's up. Y'all already know. You got to check us out. You got to check out my man. O for Show all the time. You already heard it right here. He's the real one. He's one of the real ones, the real OG, last of the Mohicans. Y'all know where to find us. In and Out, WW on all social media platforms, wherever you get your podcast. Make sure you tune in and out again and again and again. INNOUTWW. Appreciate you for tuning in. And now we out.
Yes,
Peace.
sir. Peace. What's up?